Valuable artifacts found on the Titanic. More than a century ago, the largest liner at the time sailed on a fateful transatlantic voyage. On board were several hundred of the richest people of the time carrying untold riches to America. The wreckage of the ship is scattered over a vast area of more than 30 square kilometers at a depth of nearly 3,800 meters. Since the discovery of the Titanic in 1985, 24 expeditions have been sent to it, during which thousands of different objects have been found. All these items are sold at auctions. The largest auction was held in the year of the centenary of the disaster, in 2012. The most valuable items, jewelry or works of art, remained at the bottom of the ocean. So collectors are willing to sell off huge sums of money for any trinket that was on board the ship. For example, the most common cracker from the crew's dry rations went under the hammer for $20,000. It is known that the cracker was asked by a sailor of the Carpathia. This ship was the first to arrive at the wreck site from a rescued passenger. The sailor did not eat it, but kept it as a memento. Various manuscripts and letters are highly prized. A letter that Adolf Seyfeld wrote to his wife, dated April 10, 1912, was purchased for $85,000. In that letter, the passenger writes of the luxury on the liner, describing the expensive interiors and the menu with a variety of delicacies. By the way, the menu from the very last dinner for first-class passengers also survived. It didn't make it to the bottom of the Atlantic thanks to banker Dodge Washington, who was traveling with his wife. His wife, Ruth, took it with her as a souvenir, and the Washington family still keeps it and does not sell it for any money. An ordinary life jacket, which, by the way, is not at all suitable for the climate of the North Atlantic, is estimated at an average of $100,000. To this day, they have survived a few copies. A great number of watches are also for sale at auctions. Especially expensive are those on which the hands were stopped when the ship sank. Also raised from the bottom was a large amount of porcelainware with brand markings. A silver cup was sold for $220,000, which was presented to the captain of the Carpathia. Another valuable artifact is a photograph of an iceberg, the same one that caused the Titanic to sink. The photograph was taken the day after the disaster by one of the passengers of a passing ship. At the time the picture was taken, that passenger didn't even know what had happened on that spot. The picture was sold at auction for $34,000. A cigar box, which belonged to the captain of the ship, sold for $50,000. The invitation to the ship's launching ceremony was bought for $58,000. At that time, it was the largest ship in the world. The White Star's management decided to make money on it as well, having arranged a grandiose show. Meanwhile, the most valuable things remained at the bottom of the ocean. According to various sources, the passengers were carrying valuable things worth from $1 to $1.5 billion. In addition, the ship was also used as a mail carrier. Its holds contained furs, valuable wines, and champagne. Even 2 tons of mercury is known. However, there were also such things that it is difficult to imagine how much money they would sell for at today's auctions. For example, on the ship was a manuscript of the 11th century Arab philosopher Omar Khayyam. It is known that the manuscript, bound in leather, was decorated with hundreds of precious stones. What valuables were on board the Titanic became known thanks to hundreds of lawsuits. The most expensive item was the painting Cherry in the Bath by the artist Mary. Joseph Blundell, a first-class passenger who was rescued, valued the canvas at $2.5 million. Among the lawsuits also mentioned are several dozen containers of dragon's blood, the name given to the resin from trees used for medical purposes. Another exotic treasure that was on the ship was the mummy of an Egyptian soothsayer, more than 4,000 years old. It was also accompanied by an ancient amulet depicting Osiris, the king of the world of the dead. The esotericists believe that it was this mummy that caused the catastrophe. Among other valuable cargo is a new Renault-type CB car. It is known that the first-class passenger managed to escape with his family. He demanded compensation from White Star for the car and the 2 dogs he was not allowed to take with him in the lifeboat. Wealthy passengers who were rescued have repeatedly demanded that the White Star raise the sinking liner, but it is problematic even today. Moreover, at that time, even the exact coordinates of the wreck were not known, and the equipment that would be able to dive to such a depth appeared only half a century later. Accordingly, many lawsuits did not yield any results. In the 1950s, the Titanic was remembered again. In 1958, an ambitious and simultaneously insane idea emerged to freeze the ship so that it would rise to the surface like an ice cube. A plan to fill the ship with liquid wax, which was lighter than water and would also be able to lift the ship from the bottom, was discussed. It was not possible to locate the wreck until 1985, when the first expedition set off there, but they were unsuccessful in finding any valuable. During all subsequent expeditions from the bottom were raised mainly personal belongings of passengers, crockery, coins, watches, and elements of the expensive interior, but no one could find the legendary jewels. It is most likely that they will never find anything. The salt water corrodes everything quickly. Scientists say that by the middle of our century, there will be nothing left of the ship, as the underwater microorganisms will finally destroy the metal. Hello, all dear subscribers and guests of the channel. I try very hard for you to learn more interesting things from our world. About this will not tell in the school and the government. Please appreciate my work. Please do not forget to subscribe and like that more people would see the truth. I will be glad to try for you. Enjoy the view. Respectfully find out.